Hello, Cherie Hanson here. I got my new flowery blouse that I love. It makes me happy. I was thinking today as I was reading the book Stealing Fire about those moments of bliss we have in our lives. If you could measure your life as if you were a scientist and you're looking at this seismographic signature of it. In other words, the highs and the lows. It's interesting to think about how much of the bliss or the joy or the deep satisfaction in our life comes from something that we planned as opposed to something that just showed up. For me, I've got this myth in my head that if I planned it, then it is something I can experience a great deal of joy about. And why is that? That is because that shows me that I have things in control. And it's such a backwards way of living because to have everything in control means that you keep the furnace from getting too hot. You don't put your foot down on the gas. You don't throw yourself off of a cliff to go cliff diving. And so you miss out on all these ecstasis states of the mind. Ecstasy, ecstasy. Ecstasy hits when you least expect it. And I remember when I was coming home from being in the hospital for 8 weeks from having cancer, I went home and then I had to go back because things failed. I'm riding along in the car and I am thinking, how can I be alive and not feel exquisite joy about the flowers that are in people's yards, or a family walking down the sidewalk with their toddler, or the cute dog sitting on the corner looking up at his master, or the absolutely heart-rending, rip my chest open, transformative beauty of clouds. And because I had been restricted and pulled down into only focusing on handling pain, only focusing on please let me live, I wasn't in a state where I took anything I was seeing for granted. It all came to me that it was so lucky. It was so lucky the buildings were still standing. It was so lucky that the city plants beautiful gardens. It was so lucky that families were together. And then later in a couple of days, we went to a brunch at a lakeside hotel. And we're sitting there looking out over the lake, over the water, looking at the white clouds reflected in the waves. And people are going up to a table that is just laden with exquisite food. It was almost excessive because I'd been not able to eat for days on end. I had a tube into my stomach. And I said to the person I was with, look at these people, I said. They're not happy. And they weren't. They were trying to get the best food off of the table. They were grouching at one another. Their faces looked dour and restricted. There wasn't a lot of joy. There wasn't laughter. And it just struck me as such a shame when we are not aware of how lucky this moment is, this moment, this moment. And I don't mean by that everything has to be perfect for you to experience ecstasy or joy or just a warmth spreading throughout your entire body and your heart just getting bigger and bigger. That can be discovered if you're just paying attention. I was at the nursery this morning buying little tiny hits of color to put into my garden in the front yard. And there were just gorgeous flowers. I mean, just astounding. And the thing that I found so wonderful was there were other people who were there for the end of the year sale. Most of them were older women, and they had come to buy things at 50% off, but they were also there to experience joy. They were walking along and they were looking and they were stopping and they were absorbing a flower, its shape, its color, the beautiful branching of its green leaves. And as I was looking at this one flower that kind of looked like a checkerboard carnation, I said to the woman going past me, "Oh, look at this." And so we ended up, both of us, standing, bent over, looking at this flower together. And we were so quiet. It was quiet. We were both just opening up and absorbing and appreciating the beauty of that flower. And for me, that is what I call the unlooked for spectacular. I didn't plan it. I didn't, have a wine tour and go to 15 wineries and get tipsy out of my head. I didn't eat masses of food. I didn't, make a plan to go to some exotic island. It's just stopping in front of a flower. And it cost me nothing. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment that just swept me up. So I was thinking how, if you think about a baseball catcher, the baseball catcher puts his mitt up to get that ball right in his mitt. He's not standing there looking around, planning something, trying to control anything. He's just ready to catch that beautiful moment when it comes at him. So I just wanted to share that with you today. Thank you so much.